Human development requires optimal brain development, and brain development, 90% of it happens within the first 5 years of life. Our local leaders looked at the data. What they found was astounding. Less than half of the children in our community were ready for school.
Kids that don't have access to a high-quality early kindergarten experience can start kindergarten as much as a year and a half behind of their peers, and it costs twice as much to catch those children back up.
Our leaders said, this isn't okay. We're going to take it upon ourselves to elevate early childhood as a community priority and find a community solution. So that's how Ready for School started.
Both of us heard on the radio about the Kalamazoo Promise. They could offer scholarships to all the students.
We were just thinking, wow, we'd love to be a community that did that too.
Our commitment for the kids was, if you will attend class, pass the classes, and never give up, then we will never give up on you. That's really what this is all about. Our donors are all people that were able to provide that for their kids, and now they want to pass that opportunity on to another group of kids. That's the promise.
One of the things we talk about a lot is that affordability is relative, right? So depending on how much we make, whether or not a house is affordable is very relative. We've got a gap of about 15,000 units of affordable housing across the region. And so it's creating a crunch on our labor supply locally, which restricts our business's ability to grow. So the community foundations of both Holland, Zeeland, and Grand Haven, in partnership with United Way, reached out to the Chambers of Commerce and Lakeshore Advantage and the Lakeshore Nonprofit Alliance. And we had some really philanthropic partners in the business sector. And so they announced that they were going to create Housing Next.
We just ask what barriers are preventing kindergarten readiness for families right here in our community, and then we go to work.
We provide quality learning experiences for children ages 3 to 5 whose families wouldn't have the financial means for their children to go to preschool.
And since 2010, over 2,500 children have been able to attend preschool because of Ready for School.
We were believers that education was the way for a person to financially succeed.
And it was also, they had an opportunity to become their full potential.
Because we did not have the financing for everyone, we thought that it would be best to make one of our criteria a student who was going to have some financial challenges.
But we realized that it's not enough to write a check. We have mentors for these students as they go through. And that's, I think, the key to what makes this work.
So Housing Next is trying to take a three-pronged approach to solving for housing affordability. One is supporting housing supply at all price points. But we specifically want to support workforce housing. So we really want to find ways to support new construction of housing supply in that marketplace. And then we want to support all of our nonprofit partners to ensure that we've got all of these wraparound services in place to help folks get from where they are today to the place that they want to be 15, 20 years from now.
The vision that is created for all kids to meet their full unique potential isn't just a future vision, but it's happening now because the Community Foundation of Holland, Zeeland prioritized early childhood as a community priority. They have now invested in the next phase of Ready for School's development. So Start School Ready is providing an all year round early learning experience.
We were challenged that we only had money this year for 3 to 5 students. But by the time we finished the interview process and we tried to limit it, we had 13 kids that had to receive this scholarship. You either look these kids in the face and tell them you can't help them, or you raise the money. We raised the money. We have 100 donors right now that support the Promise, and we've had 48 total students and 28 in just the last 3 years. So it's really ramping up, and now we hope that maybe we can get the whole community involved.
From my perspective, it's about choice, right? It's about creating enough choice in the marketplace to satisfy demand. So success looks like having a diversity of housing types and a diversity of mobility options. We really need public, private, and philanthropic all to be at the table, thinking about this in the same way and negotiating over possible solutions.
If we invest in the youngest members of our community, you see a community that is fully thriving. And then you take a look at why that's happening. You go back and you say, this community did it right. They built the infrastructure to set the kids up to be successful for the long term.
If we want this dream of our social fabric to continue, we've got to invest in it.
We're investing in our future. This is a part of making it a good and beautiful world for more and more and everyone. That's the vision.